Hi everyone, welcome back to GMAT Point. This is Rajat here. So let's look at how to prepare for GMAT test sender exam format in this video. So the first one, we have certain pre-test checklist that you need to follow, and then the ID requirements and other security measures and factors that you need to consider before taking an exam in the test center, right? So the first one is a pre-test checklist. So before the exam, you need to confirm your appointment date, time and location in your appointment confirmation email and on your mba.com my account. So why we say that look at your date, time and location, and it's because you need to make sure that you reach there on time, on the correct date and in the right location, right? If you get an email, say at Greenwich Mean Time, which is in US, if they consider that time and send you an email, and if you say confuse it with IST, which is Indian Standard Time, or EST, which is Eastern Standard Time, you may have a wrong time that you judge in your mind. So make sure that you don't have such discrepancies happening in while moving forward to take a GMAT test. So make sure that you exactly know what time that you are taking your test. So that's first point. So make sure that you review the exam policies and understand the test policies before going forward. So you can actually go to mba.com and I'll share you the link in the description or in the I button, whichever is possible. And you can actually go here and check what are the exam policies that you need to follow. Just check the policies and procedures. You can actually read them and how to contact them if you have any, and what are your rights and responsibilities that you have when you take a GMAT exam, and the eligibility requirements. So you need to make sure that you know the eligibility requirements. You need to be at least 18 years of age. And if you're not 18, so if you're between 13 and 17, you may take the exam. But you need to make sure that you have a proven written proof from your parents or guardians' consent prior to scheduling the exam. So this is the basic eligibility requirement. And there are certain criteria, right? So GMAT, you can actually take 5 times in a year, but a maximum of 8 times in a lifetime. So in a rolling 12-month period, you can only attempt 5 times, and the total attempts in your lifetime would be 8. So these are the exam policies. You can actually check the link below where we have put the link for exam policies. Then, so on the day of the exam, you need to do certain things, right? So you need to familiarize yourself with the route to your test center location and make sure to account for travel time and also potential traffic delays. So you do not want to get late on that particular day. So make sure that you account for every bottlenecks that would come moving forward. And you need to plan to arrive at the test center at least 30 minutes prior to your appointment time to allow plenty of time for you to have a smooth check-in process, right? So the next one would be at the test center, you need to bring valid photo ID, double check that your ID complies with the local ID requirements. And for each country, it's different. Say for India, you need to definitely have a passport when you go inside, because that is what you use to register for GMAT. So definitely have that in hand. So ID requirement is that an international travel passport at the test center. So you must present it and don't fail, because if you don't have an appropriate passport, they will forfeit your exam fee, which is like quite a significant amount in India. It's around $275, but including the charges, it comes around more than 25,000 in India. So nearly that amount. So you need to make sure that you have all the documents required, including your passport, and your ID must be current, which is not expired, and legible, and include everything such as your name, which is using the Roman alphabet, mostly English, and your date of birth, which should exactly match with the date provided when you registered. And you need to have a recent recognizable photograph and your signature. Then let's look at the allowed and prohibited items in the exam center. So GMAT allows certain things, which is first one is the approved identification. Then you can have an appointment confirmation email that you received from Pearson VUE, and prescription eyeglasses if any, and light sweater or non outerwear jacket, which is a light one. And you can have comfort items if it was pre-approved in advance as an accommodation. So make sure that you go and check whether you can actually have a comfort item if you need, say for back support or anything. You can actually go and check them out in their website. So we'll link it down below. So now let's look at certain items which you can actually store in the locker at the test center. So you can actually see them above, right? Watches, electronic aids, writing utensils, thesaurus, radios. I mean, these are very outdated things. Then too, dictionaries, but make sure that you can store your mobile phone, watches and other electronic aids, and your earplugs or your TWS if any, and your lip balms, cell phone, calculators if any. So all these things can be kept in the locker at the test center. And there are some prohibited items which is very definite, which are like you cannot bring in food and candy and drink in the hall unless it's expressly pre-authorized as an accommodation. Same water. Water in clear bottles may be allowed, but you need to make sure that it is pre-authorized as an accommodation inside the exam taking hall. Then you cannot have any weapons, including firearms, knives, or any object that could be used as a weapon in the exam hall, because these are prohibited from test center, which is like very natural to understand. And this is done so that you are having a safe environment, right? So this policy also pertains to off-duty law enforcement and persons with concealed and carry permits. So even if you are from law, you should not bring any firearms into the exam hall, because these are prohibited from the test center, including the testing room and also the waiting areas. So make sure that you don't have any kind of weapons with you while taking the GMAT exam. So the next one is taking your optional break. So you need to know that you can take a 10-minute break if you want between sections. So you actually have 3 sections in your exam, and you can actually take a break in between one of these 2 sections after the first one or after the second one. So if you want to take a break, say after the first section, you can actually take a 10-minute break. But you need to make sure that there is a screen that will come in front. Say you need to wait until you see a specified scheduled break message during your exam to commence your break. And if you choose to skip the break, so if you don't want the break, you can actually skip it. And what will happen is that your exam will automatically start in 60 seconds. So we suggest you to take a break if needed, because it's provided. So take it either in the first half or in the second half, because say restroom or bathroom breaks can actually be very useful if you want to go. And if you want to go take a break, go to washroom, you may leave your desk, but you need to make sure that you leave your camera running, and you should not also access your phones or any other devices when you go for a break. And if you do not return from your break in the allotted time, say you have 10 minutes, but you took 12 minutes. Now what happens is that extra time spent on your break will be deducted from the next section of your exam, right? So if you took a break after one section and you have had it 12 minutes. So 2 minutes will be deducted from your next section. That's how it works. So if you leave your computer during your exam at a time other than your optional break, the proctor will end your session and you will be unable to continue testing. So this is a rule which is very important to know, that you should not leave your exam center at any cost unless it is a break. Then there are certain security measures which is there. So you need to have the appropriate identification, which is the photo ID, which we told. In a test center, you need to have a passport, which is very mandatory. And in certain areas which is permitted by law, they also have a palm vein scan. So they'll scan the palm vein or biometrics in general. And you also need to provide a digital signature stating that you understand and agree to the test taker rules and agreements, and also sit for a digital photograph during the test. So these are the basic rules and basic requirements that you need to know for taking the GMAT exam at a test center. So we hope we were able to comprehensively give you all the details which are required. So make sure that you go to the website and read every rules and regulations and also the policies before taking the exam, so that you are not missing out on any relevant information before taking the GMAT exam. So the link is in the description. Go check them out on mba.com. So that's about it, and I hope we were able to comprehensively cover all the details required to take the GMAT exam at the test center. And I suggest you to go to the mba.com website, which we link below, and see that you understand and follow all the exam policies and all the details which are relevant before you take the GMAT exam. And make sure that you do not miss out on any information before taking the GMAT exam. And that's it. Thank you. And we hope you do the best in your GMAT exam. Have a great day.